Vanuit Nederland, Jara Kastelein. From the United States of America, number 17, Christine Varnell.
Well, the crowd getting ready now for the action. And we have got two absolutely thrilling races ahead. Here is the course that the riders face today. This, of course, is the Grand Prix Eric de Vlaeminck to commemorate the 7 times world champion of cyclo-cross, the brother, of course, of Roger de Vlaeminck. And this is the course that the riders will take on today. Loops around all over this Zolder motor race circuit. Always produces a great race, and of course is the scene of the most recent World Championships, which were held here just a few months ago. Here's our pits area. I think it could be quite busy in that area today. So if you are recovering from eating too much Christmas dinner yesterday, or you're just trying to get over the news of George Michael passing away yesterday, you've come to the right place. We'll try and cheer you up and make sure that we guide you through some fantastic racing. Here's the start list then of the women's elite race. We're going to see these riders take to the start line. 57 riders. Anderson will not take to the start for the United States of America. Just sick overnight, so she will not be taking to the start line, which is sad news. But apart from that, we have got the strongest field I think we've had so far this season. The big names are here: Sophie de Boer, Marianne Vos, Sanne Cant, Ellen van Looy, Nikki Bramier, Eva Lechner, Katarina Nash, the on-form Alicia Dufy, and many, many other big names. Lucinda Brand also here, Amanda Miller. We are, I think, in for one of the best women's races of the season. 7 degrees centigrade now, 13 km/h winds. It is a little bit blowy out here on this course. The juniors raced in pouring rain. The sun was promised this afternoon, so we've got blue skies and much, much better weather conditions.
In Heusden-Zolder for the Telenet
Here on the start line then, as we look at the riders, there's Jolien Verschuren. Alongside Jolien is Pavla Havlikova, Czech Republic rider. I haven't seen too much of her so far this season. Ellen van Looy, who's 3rd in the World Cup so far. Always consistent on this course. Alongside her, already focused, Sanne Cant, the Belgian champion. Didn't have the best week last week in Namur. There's the World Cup leader, Sophie de Boer, wearing number 2, 3rd out last time. Had a puncture on the final run into the finish. Eva Lechner, always smiling. The Italian champion, 2nd last week. Alongside her, great to see on the front row of the grid, Ellen Noble, 5th in Iowa, the United States rider who leads the under-23 contest. And there is Nikki Bramier, the British champion. Tucked in behind her, Emma White of the United States of America. The tape is now drawn away, and we'll get ready for the start of this race, which will go under the green lights. You can see the red lights top left and top right of the gantry there. Sanne Cant looks very, very focused already. There is Marianne Vos, and this race is underway now. Who is going to lead the charge? Very, very important to get a good start here. And the rider who does get the best start is Ellen Noble of the United States of America. She goes charging off that start line. Remember, we got this little left-hander that then takes us down to the first turn. And Ellen Noble has got a fantastic start, and the two World Cup leaders are alongside each other as they go screeching onto this turn, round into the muddy section, and then it's a loop back, and you've got to go sprinting out of here. Nikki Bramier getting a bad start there, maybe still remembering that crash at the start that she had a few weeks ago with Helen Wyman, and amazing to be back here racing. But the rider now who's got the best start through the first couple of turns is Ellen van Looy. Behind her, Christian Majerus, and a little bit further back, Marianne Vos has already had a bike change over there on the left-hand side. So maybe a coming together as they went into that turn has caused Marianne Vos some problems. Lucinda Brand is the other Rabobank live rider who's up near the front. So Ellen van Looy goes out now to try and set the tempo. She's been riding really strongly so far this season. She was 6th in Namur, 6th in Valkenburg, lies 3rd overall in this World Cup. Rider who's getting stronger and stronger all the time in these World Cups is Christian Majerus there in the Luxembourg champions colours. And this sort of course should suit Majerus, who's not been in any of the World Cups so far this close to the front. So that long tarmac section suited her road talents very well indeed. So she's now tucked in there and looking very good indeed. Eva Lechner, who had a puncture at an inopportune time the last time out, always works her way towards the front, towards the midsection of a race. This Zolder course, whilst it's always thought of as flat, it really isn't that flat. It's got some pretty major uphill sections in it, really steep little climbs. I was talking to Nikki Bramier just before the start. She was trying to decide whether to drop down to from a 42 outer ring to a 40 outer ring to give herself a little bit more ability to pedal. So she was still working through that. Talked to Katarina Nash also just before the start, who said she was ill just before Antwerp, and then everything came good at Namur last week. She will be riding the World Championships. That is in the plan. Number 13 up near the front, riding well, is Amanda Miller. She's in that orange-coloured kit. 4th in Valkenburg, sorry, 4th in Vegas, 5th in Valkenburg. Nikki Bramier making her way now up towards the front, but it's Ellen van Looy who leads. Marianne Vos has got an awful lot of work to do. If you didn't see the contest the other night in Degem, which is the traditional race in the dark, Marianne Vos was supreme. She started at the very back of the entire field, worked her way all the way to the front, and then outwitted Sanne Cant. We can see there in the Belgian champions colours, just making her way down this fast descent. I was talking to Marianne just before the start. She said she's missed cross and very pleased to be back. She wants to ride the World Championships, but of course she has to be selected by the selectors in order to do so. But she was just recounting how she beat Sanne Cant the other night. And she said that technically Sanne is so much better than her at this moment because Marianne hasn't been riding cyclocross at all. So she had to let Sanne do her thing, and then she just outwitted her with the power at the end of the race. But so far, good to see some strong riding being done here by Ellen van Looy at the front, followed by the series leader, Sophie de Boer, in that white and red jersey. And then if you're wondering why there's two white and red jerseys, it's because the under-23 leader is also up here as well. And wonderful to see the leader of the under-23s up there at the front. wearing number 12, the American rider, Ellen Noble, decided to go out here early and get involved in the mix. So Christine Majerus looking good. Her seasoned or career best was in Namur in 5th place. But we haven't seen her right at the front of the race like this in this season. So it's wonderful to see her finding her legs now to maybe get an even better career best here. She certainly deserves it. She's been getting stronger and stronger at cyclocross all the time. Katarina Nash now picking her way through the field as well in the blue. Having a few problems there was Maud Kapteins, who had some early problems in the race last week in Namur. But Ellen van Looy is setting the tempo, followed by Sophie de Boer. Followed behind her is Ellen Noble. There we are picking out Marianne Vos wearing number 8. Christine Majerus following her is another great road rider, Lucinda Brandt, the former Dutch champion. And Van Looy just down here is a little bit damp at the very bottom of this descent, and some of the under-23 riders, there are a few crashes here because it's very wet, so your tyres are not gripping as well as they could do just at the base of that descent. Sophie de Boer, really fast feet as she makes her way up those steps. Zolder has been changed by the addition of these steps in the last couple of seasons, which makes it a much better course. Marianne Vos, look at that, working hard. To me, she looks very lean indeed and very focused over the problems of the last couple of seasons. And looking like she's coming back to her strongest already. Well, if you'd like to join me on Twitter, at Ant McCrossan, which is ANTMCCROSSAN, is where you can join me today. It was an early start this morning to get here to the circuit here in Zolder. Oh, problem there as one rider hits the deck. Another one of the Rabobank team. That was Jara Kastein who hit the deck then. And onto one of our fixed cameras on this slight uphill. Nikki Bramier working her way onto the wheel there of Alicia Tsufi, who's been the revelation of this season. She's looked very good indeed, but Ellen van Looy always thrives in the early stages of Zolder, and she's going away here from the rest of the field. She seems to have this absolutely nailed on one of the new treks, which has got that little bit of dampening in it. This is one of the frames similar to that used by the Trek Segafredo team, so the likes of Fabian Cancellara. It gives a little bit of suspension in the front of the bike. Also, interestingly, the battery is inside the down tube, and the wires for the Di2 work their way into that tube, and you literally take it out by the bottle cage, takes the Shimano battery out. So everything is much more compact and composed in there, so it doesn't get damp. First lap then is over, and Ellen van Looy goes through in 8 minutes and 53 seconds for lap number 1. Behind her, Lucinda Brandt, Sophie de Boer, Ellen Noble, Katarina Nash leads the next group with Amanda Miller, Eva Lechner, and Ellen van Looy really is kicking on now. 11 seconds is her advantage to that group of riders. And Marianne Vos onto the terrain that she knows best. When she gets onto this tarmac section, she really kicks on and tries to shut the gap on everyone else. So Van Looy, who works in a caring hospital for disabled residents, looks after them. Lucinda Brandt gasping in the air a little bit. There goes Katarina Nash, Sanne Kant also in that group. Christine Majerus sitting on the back of the chasing group here. Thanks to Jesse Braverman for a quick tweet. Hello to you. Glad you're enjoying the racing. And Luke Prevost, and who else? Craig Hardy. Thank you very much for all your messages so far on Twitter as we open up the initial stages of this World Cup. Well, Van Looy certainly motivated today. Of course, this Telenet Fidea team, now run by Sven Nys. I've been told there was a magnificent film on television about him over Christmas, taking in the last 3 years of his career, building up to his retirement. But now he is guiding this team, and certainly to me, they look very much more motivated than ever. They've got the new bikes. They seem to be riding with some real enthusiasm now. Wonderful job here being done by number 12. Pick her out, Ellen Noble of the United States of America. 8th in the World Cup standings so far. Leader of the under-23 competition. Was 5th in Iowa. But apart from that, it's been her teammates as far as the United States of America is concerned, Amanda Miller and also Katie Compton, who have been finishing up higher. But today it's down to Ellen to produce a good performance, and she is certainly doing that, sitting 2nd place now. Lucinda Brand tucked in on the wheel. Sophie de Boer biding her time a little bit. Sanne Cant last week just wasn't her course. She told me beforehand she didn't have good legs before that race anyway. And Eva Lechner will be hoping to have no more mechanical problems at all after last week, as Van Looy grinds her way up that really steep little bank. This is a real strength-sapping course, isn't it? Majeras just locking up the back wheel a little bit as she went uphill, but Van Looy now starting to pick up the tempo when she gets onto the hard-packed sections. Ellen Noble goes to the left-hand side. Sophie de Boer goes with her. The two series leaders locked in combat. Katarina Nash goes through there in the blue. I was talking to her about descending just before the start of the race. She said, well, I've been on disc brakes for a long time, and so I know exactly where I need to brake on the descents. I don't brake like you sometimes do on normal brakes before the top. I go down, pull on the brakes and stop, and also maybe take a little bit of a different line to some of the other riders, but she's certainly looking forward to riding the World Championships. And a rider now who is closing in on the rest of the field. Look at Marianne Vos. She is absolutely cruising. Ellen Van Looy round these little twists and turns. Just take the heat out of the tempo. And notably now you can see the rest of this group all packed together. Someone has got to do something to bring this race back together. Otherwise, the person in the background in the orange and white, Marianne Vos, is going to close this up, and then she will dictate the race totally. Should just mention, actually, I've just been reminded that the Australians have 2 riders in here today. Great to see them racing. Rebecca Locke, the Australian champion, and Naomi Williams will be here in the field. In fact, also Stacey Riedel, 3 of their riders, I meant to say. So Stacey Riedel, Naomi Williams and Rebecca Locke all riding here. And about this point in the season, we get the Australians now traditionally coming to the final phase of the season, and then we usually catch up with them at some point. So thank you very much for anyone who's supporting the Australian team. I'll try and keep you updated with where they are. Rebecca Locke, Naomi Williams, Stacey Riedel. As now Sanne Cant decides to try and put in a little bit of a turn. Sophie de Boer is going with her. So far in the World Cup standings, it's de Boer who leads. Sanne Cant is in 2nd with 2.650. Problem for Katarina Nash. Van Looy is 3rd with 2.19. Compton with 2.15. Marnie with 2.13. Nash with 2.10. Compton and Marnie not taking to the start of today's race. Oops, Ellen makes a mistake there. That is this corner which is really wet at the bottom. Look at Katarina Nash, though, as she takes the inside line. In fact, that's Eva Lechner, isn't it? Eva's also taking that inside line, going flat out downhill, the teammate of Katarina Nash. Eva Lechner looking good as she goes uphill now. The two Luna riders who finished first and second last week. Well, Eva, of course, is also a problem there for Ellen as she went down. She just locked the front wheel up. The two Luna riders looking good, both mountain bikers, and Eva Lechner taking that really aggressive line down that bank. This is so strength-sapping, this little climb. Really wet at the top. This is the remnants of the pouring rain from earlier on. Ellen van Looy now over this next little kicker. She's just got to keep this going. She's got daylight. Eva Lechner now starting to close up. She always gets going in the second lap. Sophie de Boer doesn't seem to be, to me, on the form that she was on over the last few weeks. She has dominated this World Cup so far, but she never, ever gives in. And as we saw last weekend, not giving in gave her a third place, even when she'd had puncture and other sorts of problems. Ellen van Looy downhill. Sophie de Boer, third last time. Marianne Vos is closing in now on the front, just working her way through the field. If you're trying to spot her, she's the second rider in the orange and white. There she is, wearing number 8. But she's just steadily working her way through the field. No stress, no pressure. She's now onto the wheel of Amanda Miller. And Ellen van Looy now is being chased down by Eva Lechner, the Italian rider, lap number 2. And Ellen van Looy is going to go through this time in 8 minutes 50, so slightly faster on the second lap. Eva Lechner is just 6 seconds down. And as they go flying past my commentary box, Sanne Cant, Sophie de Boer, Ellen Noble, Lucinda Brand, Amanda Miller, Marianne Vos, Christian Majerus are chasing hard at 14 seconds. Katarina Nash is at 22 with Alicia Zuffi. So Ellen doesn't look to be having too many problems with mud picking up on that bike. Eva Lechner now trying to close up. Started her season really in earnest with Namur. She started, she rode some races at the beginning of the year, had a break, but now she's back as Katarina Nash has a bike change. I was talking to Nikki Bramier before the start. She said the only issue out here on the course today is nothing to do with mud picking up on the bike. It's to do with the sand and grit you pick up when you go up the steps, and it stops you getting your feet back in the pedals after you get over the top of that muddy section. So you've got to be kicking your pedals all the time, trying to keep your shoe plates as clean as you possibly can. And Eva Lechner slowly but surely trying to edge her way closer, but it's still 6 seconds, which is exactly the same as the previous lap. Sanne Cant looking better than she did last week. Thanks for the messages. Mark Durkin, thank you for joining us here for today's live coverage of this race here. Heusden-Zolder, this motor race circuit. Been here about 50 years, the motor race circuit. Known more now for Formula 3, a little bit of Formula 2, some motorbike racing as well. But it is the place traditionally on Boxing Day where we have cyclocross. The crowd come out, big crowd, to watch the racing, and they support these riders very strongly indeed. Lechner goes through. They're in the green, white and red. Van Looy, this is her little bit of terrain. She looks very comfortable in this area through the trees. De Boer looks to be biding her time. Marianne Vos is there. Lucinda Brand, Majerus, Miller and Ellen Noble right to the back of the grid. So let's pick out some other riders. Nicky Bramier is running 12th place at this moment in time for Great Britain. Manon Bakker of the Netherlands is 20th. Emma White of the United States of America is running 15th at this moment in time. And we'll just pick out some other riders for you. Emily Wadsworth of Great Britain is around about the top 45 riders at this moment. And as far as the Australians are concerned, Naomi Williams 50th, Rebecca Loughlin 53rd, Stacey Riedel is in 57th place at this moment in time. Lechner having to work hard here to close this gap on Van Looy. Sanne Cant happy to sit in the wheels. Sophie de Boer knows that she's got Marianne Vos tucked in right on the wheel now. Lucinda Brand on the wheel of her former road race teammate. They won't be teammates on the road after December the 31st, where Marianne Vos moves to her new team, WM3, and Lucinda Brand moves on as well. So it'll be the first time for many years that these two riders won't be teammates. Sanne Cant there in the Belgian kit. Last year when we rode the World Championships here, it was Talita de Jong who was the winner of the World Championship. She had a crash last week in Namur. We haven't really heard how she is. Caroline Marnie was in second place. Sanne Cant took third. But Sanne Cant was the winner of the actual World Cup cyclocross here in 2015. She beat Katie Compton and Ellen Van Looy. Van Looy in third place that day. Marianne Vos has won this cross on a number of occasions in 2014, 2012, 11, 9 and also 2008. But in the years that she didn't win it, she was also second place, finishing second in 13 and second in 10. So Marianne Vos traditionally has dominated this cyclocross when she was just riding, or riding a lot more cyclocross than she does now later on in her career.
Dus ja, Sanne Cant komt inderdaad dichter op dit moment bij Ellen Van Looy en ook Sophie de Boer en Marianne Vos.
Just having a look now to see how many laps we'll be doing. So next time round, I think we're going to get, it's going to be about 3 laps to go. It's a tiring course, this one. It's a long circuit of over 3 kilometers. And Ellen Van Looy, for the first time in this race, is going to get a little bit of company as Sanne Cant comes powering across to try and join up with Ellen Van Looy. Sanne Cant downhill very fast. Sophie de Boer doesn't look to me to be as comfortable on this course as she has done in the other courses. Marianne Vos is now past Eva Lechner. Steve Chanel fan club on the other side of the steps. Hopefully they know he's not in this race. And there is Nicky Bramier, British champion. Van Looy maintaining a little bit of an advantage on Sanne Cant. But I think the big danger for everybody is the fact that Marianne Vos is very close to the front of this race now. Van Looy makes a little bit of a mistake there. That's going to play into the hands of everybody else. So Sanne Cant is closing up now, right into the wheel. Sophie de Boer, I wonder what sort of game she's playing here. I'm trying to work out whether she is being less aggressive because Marianne Vos is here. But maybe, and it does change the dynamic, having Vos back in the field, because she is so strong that riders don't maybe take the risks that they would do normally. And I wonder whether that's playing in the minds of a few people here. Ellen Van Looy then is caught by Sanne Cant, Marianne Vos, Sophie de Boer and Lucinda Brand. There is Amanda Miller. Looking good. Amanda Miller's had a great season. 2 top 5 places in the World Cups so far as we come round there to complete another lap. And we're going to get 2 laps of racing to go this time. Lap number 3, just about to be completed, and we have a group of 6 riders at the front of this race. A slow lap, 9:05 for Ellen Van Looy. The fastest lap so far is an 8:40 by Marianne Vos. That was on lap number 2, an average speed of 21.44 kilometers an hour. The fastest lap time for Eva Lechner is 8:44. Lucinda Brand is 8:46. Alicia Zuffi 8:47. Taking on the race now is number 4. That's Lucinda Brand, the former Dutch road race champion, at home on this sort of terrain. She'll be pretty comfortable with this. Marianne Vos is going to go in and have another bike change. Her dad hands the bike over to her. Straight back into the action. Katerina Nash now is starting to close the gap, bringing Christine Majerus with her. And Lucinda Brand with that powerful style. She said she's going to celebrate Christmas tomorrow after she gets this race out of the way. Hasn't ridden a long cross season, but she has done this season and has done so with very good effect indeed. Around the turn, followed by Sophie de Boer, followed by Ellen Van Looy. Marianne Vos looks pretty happy to sit at the back of the race. Vos, of course, the Olympic road race champion, a world road race champion on 3 occasions, a world cyclo-cross champion in 3 occasions, 2006, 2009, 2014, and has won pretty much everything you can win in women's racing. Lucinda Brand then stretching this race out a little bit more now, taking Sophie de Boer. Marianne Vos, she said to me before the start that she had a terrible lap number 3 in Antwerp. When she rode Diegem the other night, she was waiting for lap number 3 to take her down, and it never happened. She just felt stronger and stronger throughout the race as Brand now goes on the attack. That familiar, real road style. She just reminds me of when she goes on the attack on the road. Exactly the same here on this cross course as she kicks on a little bit now. Eva Lechner unable to go with that acceleration. Sophie de Boer is on the wheel. Lucinda Brand kicks the dirt out of that back wheel there as she goes round that corner. Just update you on a few more places again. Emma White of the United States of America is 14th. Nikki Bramier of Great Britain is 11th. Just some other names. Ellen Noble now down in 25th place for the United States of America. I don't know whether she's had a problem or because she was riding really strongly towards the top of the standings. Sonny Gilbert of United States of America is 40th. Asa Alansson of Sweden is 41st. Emily Wadsworth of Great Britain, 43rd. Naomi Williams is the first Australian in 48th place so far. Rebecca Locke just behind him, 51st, and Stacey Riedel in 57th place. Katarina Nash now is only a few seconds behind this group as Lucinda Brand tries to extend the advantage. Interesting that Lucinda's got the cantilever brakes on the bike, hasn't got discs on. If you look at everybody else in that chasing group, discs for Lechner, Kant, for Marianne Vos, for Sophie de Boer, for Ellen van Looy. Definitely discs for Katarina Nash, discs for Majerus, as Lechner comes round that corner to try and close the gap on Lucinda Brand. This course does suit a road rider. We think of Talita de Jong as the winner of the World Championships last year. Now, Talita's a great cyclocross rider, but absolutely played to her strengths this course. All the riders we expected to be near the front are near the front, apart from Bramier and Odzoufi. All the others, de Boer, Vos, Kant, Van Looy, Lechner and Nash, are all there, and they're involved in the tussle now. So let us have your predictions. Who's going to win this race? At Anne McCrossan is where you can join me. We look there at the style of Lucinda Brand as she sucks in the oxygen over that little drop-off, safely through there. The gap now is around about 5 seconds. She has to get off. This is a really steep section. Over to the left-hand side of our commentary box. And Lucinda's lost some time there, so has Mariana. De Boer doesn't get it right, neither does Van Looy, who parks up. Katarina Nash also making her way up there now. But Mariana Vos takes the shortest line round the corner. Brand now stretching this out over the top of the climb onto this harder section where she's able to use her road stamina to try and close or extend her advantage on the rest of the riders, and she's doing that very well. Really put the tempo in. Now onto this drop-off, which is very, very wet. She's got to kick the back wheel safely around this left-hander. She manages to do that well. She comes out of that turn, and Sanne Kant trying to close the gap there. I was talking to Katarina Nash about this sort of descent. She said she can really dig in around these corners. She says she doesn't like to take her feet out like you see some people do. She just leans the bike, goes for the grip like you do on a mountain bike, and it seems to work very well indeed. She tries to take the feet out, lean over and stuff, then she has all sorts of problems. Onto the steps. Could be looking at another top 10 here for Amanda Miller, maybe even higher. Marianne Vos over the top of the climb there. Behind her, Eva Lechner wearing 31. Behind her is the series leader in that red and white kit. But still Lucinda Brand leads. Just see how much they're having to trudge up there. Of course, television shortens the climbs. It makes them look less steep than they actually are. Very, very steep around here. Lucinda Brand, foot out, 27 years of age, from the Netherlands, winner of Grand Prix Plouay and the winner of the Tour of Norway this season. Twice a national champion of the road race in 2013, 2014. 2015. She had a good season this year with a couple of victories, including that Tour of Norway that I mentioned. She took the stage win into Meissen on the second day and then took the victory at the end of the race. Right, back out onto the road. 35 minutes of racing have gone. Lucinda Brand has been caught. Sanne Cant is there. Marianne Vos, Eva Lechner, Sophie de Boer now is going to close the gap on the rest of the field. Coming up here to get the bell. And Christine Majerus also trying to close the gap now on the leaders as Sanne Cant does her shoes up. 8:52 for the lap. That was a fast lap that time. Christine Majerus is going to come back up to the leaders here, looking at another top placing in cyclocross. There is Amanda Miller wearing number 13. Greg Valens says Vos to win. Simon Wyhorn also. Vos to win this race. Steele Barnes also says Vos to win. Couldn't see Mariana's cantilever brakes. I think she's got one bike with cantilevers and one with discs, but we'll, Christian, thank you very much for your message. I'll look closer. She has got cantilever brakes on this bike without any shadow of a doubt. Thank you for that. I know she's back on discs. There she is, second place. So one of the bikes I think has got cantilevers and one has got disc brakes by the looks of things, as Nikki Bramier now opens up an advantage on Amanda Miller. Christian thinks I've had too much mulled wine. Maybe we've both had the same, Christian. This race has changed a little bit now, hasn't it? At the front then, Katarina Nash. Behind her, Marianne Vos. Third place, Sanne Cant. Behind her is Eva Lechner, then Lucinda Brand, then Ellen van Looy, then Sophie de Boer and Christine Majerus. It's like a road race around this course. Katarina Nash has had a big chase to get to the front here, but now she's here. She's going to start to give some grief to the rest of these riders. Him, of course, from the Czech Republic, now based in California. Loves riding cyclocross. Will ride the World Championships. There goes Marianne Vos up a different line around that turn. This is the last lap of racing. Christine Majerus just dropping off the back a little bit. Katarina Nash leading, using her technique very well. Marianne Vos going with it. Sanne Cant is there. Ollie Cook wants Cant to win this one. Jeremy Pomeroy's going for everybody. Sanne Cant, Marianne Vos, Sophie de Boer. Sophie, to me, looks like she's hurting a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucinda Brand wins this, purely by the fact that she's a teammate of Vos, and this could play into the hands. She can also attack into towards the finish, but Marianne Vos, judging by Deegham the other night, is by far the favourite to win this race now. Look at her. Look at her just putting her influence on everyone else. She goes to the front. She knows that technically the others are better purely by the fact they've ridden so much cross, but she knows she's on good form. She's been training very well indeed. Marianne Vos looks around. Katarina Nash is on the drops, just trying to sprint to get back onto the wheel of the former Olympic road champion, 3 times the world cyclocross champion, former world road champion, as pure speed and power now going away. And Vos now really puts the pressure on the tarmac. Behind her, Katarina Nash has countered that. Sanne Cant is able to go with that. These are the three who finished top 3 in Diegem the other night. But it was Marianne Vos who took it ahead of Kant and Nash. Vos, to me, though, looks like she's on top form already. Previous winners of this race, Vos in 13, 12, 11, 9 and 8. Also on the podium in 13 and 10. She had all those years where she was never out of the top 2. Now another big attack. Marianne Vos puts in a big move there to just try and get a bit of speed into that left-hand turn. Swooping around now, little uphill. She gets a little bit of a gap on Katarina Nash, who's gritting her teeth. Sanne Kant's head all over the place. Marianne Vos. Katarina Nash goes to another line. She just wants to try and get ahead of Marianne Vos here. Look at Nash now. They go different lines around those corners. Nash with a mountain biking background. Marianne Vos kicks all the way up, but makes a mistake just at the top. And Nash is there, able to match that. Lucinda Brand goes left-hand side. Sanne Kant drops off a little bit. Marianne Vos almost comes to grief there around that corner, takes the right-hand foot out. Now she's going to give it some grief over the top of the climb here, onto the tarmac. Vos is putting in a massive attack here. Nash is trying to counter it. Sanne Kant's going with it. She is going to close up on Marianne Vos now. Another big dig by Marianne Vos. The power is absolutely supreme compared to the rest of this field. Marianne Vos now onto this wet drop-off. Got to get the line right. Sanne Kant takes the left-hand side. Marianne Vos is going to kick in. Oh, a mistake there by Sanne Kant. She had the line absolutely wrong. Katarina Nash is now the only person who's going to beat Marianne Vos as they hit the steps now. Vos is kicking her way up here. Really fast legs. Nash mashes that one. Lucinda Brand is still there. Eva Lechner, Sophie de Boer. And coming in now is Ellen van Looy, but Majeres is also there. Marianne Vos again in the lead. Over the top, Sanne Kant is there. She looks very, very tired. Marianne Vos, to me, is going away. Vos now with the advantage on Sanne Kant. Now she's got daylight. She goes into this little turn, kicks her way over this. Marianne Vos, the queen of cyclocross, is just giving everyone a display of pure power. Vos now onto this drop-off, looking very, very good. She's got the advantage now on Sanne Kant. She's come back, she's ridden 2 cyclocrosses. She's won one of them, this is the 3rd, and now she looks so much stronger. Flat out down that descent. Sanne Kant trying to go with it. Katarina Nash sprinting flat out. We're going to get the same positions as we got in Diegem. Vos now accelerates on that little bit of single track. Sanne Kant trying to close the gap on her, but Marianne Vos is going to come round this corner. Look at the speed of Marianne Vos. 43 minutes, nearly 44 minutes, and she's still sprinting hard. She gives it a little bit more throttle. Zolder welcomes back the Queen of Cross. Marianne Vos wins yet again here in Zolder. What a show of strength and power. Sanne Kant takes 2nd. Katarina Nash takes the high fives of the crowd in 3rd. Lucinda Brand is going to be in 4th place. That's her best performance in the World Cup so far. 5th place is Eva Lechner of Italy. 6th place is the World Cup leader, Sophie de Boer. Behind her in 7th is Ellen van Looy. Just behind her in 8th place is Christine Majeres. Nikki Bramier is going to recover to finish 9th. Still recovering from the trials of that crash. Top 10 for Nikki Bramier. Behind her is Amanda Miller, 10th place. And just behind them, Laura Verdonschot in 11th. Alicia Zufi is going to be in 12th. She was 4th last week, not been her day. Alicia Zufi finishes. She was all smiles last week. This week, not quite her day. And now we're counting through the top 12 as we see Maud Kamptoins come in. Finishing now, one of the Americans, and that is Emma White. And we'll count through the rest of the finishers as we see the young rider, under 23 rider there, complete the course. Was up there in the mix earlier on, that's Ellen Noble. Just behind her, Manon Bakker. Finishing now is Lucia Gonzalez of Spain. And the next rider in is Nada Heigl of Austria.
Marianne Vos, heel mooie overwinning. Het zat hem in de details.
Oh, het zat hem vooral in niet opgeven, denk ik. Ja, het was snel, maar toch wel zwaar. Er zit niet echt ergens herstel in. Ik moest natuurlijk de eerste 2 rondjes al flink aan de bak om vooraan te komen. Maar ik voelde wel dat ik dan in ieder geval wel de snelheid had. Maar ja, in de laatste ronde zit het hem wel in positionering en details. Ja.
Dankzij Sanne Kant werd dan ook jouw ploeggenoten brand gegrepen op een bepaald moment. Achteraf kan je zeggen, cruciaal moment.
Ja, nou ja, in de laatste ronde inderdaad. Dat was inderdaad, ja, om dan door te trekken. Dat was een cruciaal moment. En Brand die reed supergoed. Hele goede wedstrijd. En ja, toen zij gegrepen werd, was wel het moment om over te nemen.
One more question, one final question in English. Very important, only your 3rd race and here's your first World Cup victory.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Heusden-Zolder is always a course that, or has been a course that suited me, so I'm very happy to be here and to race such a special race for the win.
Thanks very much, thank you well.
Marianne Vos, a fantastic race. 3 races, 2 wins. Well, here's the result of the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup from Heusden-Zolder. Marianne Vos wins in 44 minutes 9 seconds. Sanne Kant finishes just behind her, 2 seconds down. Katarina Nash continues her good form in 3rd. Big names still all there in the top 10. Lucinda Brand with her best performance so far in 4th. Lechner in 5th. As we look through the rest of the top 20 riders. And just picking out some of the other riders for you. Juliette Labousse of France in 27th place there. Nikola Noskova of the Czech Republic, 3:32 down in 30th. But here's the highlights then of a fantastic race. Look how far away Marianne Vos is right now from the front of this race in the early stages. She's just come around the corner. There she is, right at the back. At this point in the race, we had Marianne Vos trying to come through. A real tussle between Sanne Cant and Eva Lechner. Ellen van Looy was the early rider setting the tempo. But still, at this point in the race, Marianne Vos has still not made it there. Ellen van Looy starting to make a few mistakes as the race went on. Behind her, Sanne Cant. Marianne Vos now made her way to the front of the race with the last couple of laps to go. Christine Majerus just behind, trying to come back. And here is the point where Marianne Vos started to put the pressure on everybody else. Katarina Nash trying to go with her. Sanne Cant also. Eva Lechner just didn't have the legs to close the gap. But look at the power of Vos as she used every little bit of harder surface and tarmac, but really the difference was made here where Sanne Cant went straight on and Marianne Vos then had just a few seconds going into the steps. Marianne Vos this year, 3 races, 2 wins. She's looking good for the World Championships. There's the World Cup standings now. Sophie de Boer still the leader, 3.73 to 3.35. Sanne Cant closes the gap just a little bit now. Katarina Nash firmly up there in 3rd place, so she's moved up from 6th place this morning. She'll be happy with that performance, moving up to the top 3 places. Time to clean the bikes then. As we wait now for the podium presentation of today's Women's Elite race. Thank you to all of you for your messages on Twitter. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Well, we really have seen Marianne Vos at her very, very best as far as cyclocross racing is concerned. It's amazing when you walk around this course, they make it look like it's relatively flat, but there are some incredibly steep banks on this circuit, as you can see from the people walking up now. Boxing Day in Zolder, frites, beers and cyclocross is what it's all about. And silly hats, of course. Well, we'll have action from the men's elite race coming up. We'll have the podium in a moment. Cyclocross coach, and you're right, a tactically perfect race by Marianne Vos. She had that bike change really, really early, but once she'd got going, she was just working her way through the crowd in front of her until she reached the front, and then she just waited until she was ready. Absolute perfection. There she is, Marianne Vos. Is she ready for a a run into the Worlds and then a very big road season. She loves winning bike races, doesn't she? That's Katarina Nash.
No, pak tom cílu mi to chybělo, no, protože já jsem jako stupně je paráda dnes. My hlavně, víš co, jako... Budeme mít konečně nový bydl.
She's ready for the podium. Marianne Vos is almost there. We got so used to seeing her in the Rabobank colours, but next season will be in her new team colours. Her dad gives her a congratulations there on the left-hand side. She's so in demand at any bike race, Marianne Vos. No kind of fizzy drink for Sanne Cant to recover from the race. Oh, Katarina now looks to be recovering from that illness she had around Antwerp. She said to me earlier, I think I'm coming good now. And it looks like she is. She's back on the podium yet again.
Please, may we have your attention for the award ceremony for the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup here in Heusden-Zolder. Mag ik graag de tune alsjeblieft?
So they are getting ready then for the podium presentation as they make their way out. It's pretty chilly out here, as Katarina shows you. The wind blowing right across this course. Katarina Nash, third place today.
The flowers will be given by Nele for Katarina Nash.
Third place for Katarina Nash of the Luna team from the Czech Republic. This rider must be wondering what she has to do to win the Worlds in a few weeks' time, now that Marianne Vos has decided to come back.
From Belgium, for België. Uw applaus voor de Belgische kampioenen. Uw applaus voor Sanne Cant.
Sanne Cant is second place.
Bloemen voor onze Belgische kampioenen uit handen van Noemi. En dan komt er ook een trofee uit handen van de heer Sven Miribilla, directeur van het circuit hier in Zolder. Flowers will be given by Nele and by Sven Miribilla voor circuit Zolder. En natuurlijk ook felicitaties nog voor Katarina Nash. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner today. Dames en heren, de winnares van vandaag hier.
And the winner of today's World Cup, the sixth round of racing. Marianne Vos. Massive reception for her as she makes her way out onto the podium.
Winner today here in Heusden-Zolder for the women's category for the Netherlands.
Marianne Vos takes the victory here in Zolder.
And the 3 kisses, of course, and the trophy from the mayor of Heusden-Zolder, from Mario Bormans. Bloemen uit handen van Noemi en natuurlijk ook de trofee uit handen van de burgemeester van Heusden-Zolder, de heer Mario Bormans. En hier staat ze dan, dames en heren,
Our winner today, Marianne Vos, riding for Rabobank Live from the Netherlands. You sure her last outing in the Rabobank colours.
Uit handen onder andere van Koen Monu en Hugo Leroy. Voor Catherine Anes, voor Stankamp en Marianne Vos. En dan ook iemand met de jubilair.
As they arrange the podium, more presents than Christmas Day on there.
Zo, dames en heren, mag ik dan nu graag uw aandacht voor het volkslied van Nederland. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our champion, we play the national anthem.
And now the national anthem of the Netherlands. She's back. Marianne Vos takes her first World Cup victory of this season. The 6th round goes to the rider who's dominated cyclocross in previous years. Alongside her, Sanne Cant and Katarina Nash in 2nd and 3rd place. We'll leave you with some highlights.
Door naar de Olympische Wereldbekerklassement.